It is my pleasure to be here this morning and also to learn from you in our discussion, both immediately after my lecture and as we proceed through the morning. I was asked about a year and a half ago by the Lutheran magazine in Europe to write an article on globalization. And with that invitation, they sent me a whole bunch of papers which had been written on globalization, which I carefully read through. Now, an attempt to understand our society for the better, as you all know, is reached through soft power. The ability to persuade through culture, value, and ideas. The intention of soft power is to foster increased mutual understanding. It helps to make the world a better place to be, a world in which there is more mutual trust. But that's not what I found. As I read through some of these papers, as I then expanded my reading list to some others, that's not what I found. I found that instead of cultural diplomacy, what was very often operating was hard power. The political and economic might to say, no, that position is wrong and our position is right. Why don't you learn from us? Increasingly, I found people working against one another instead of for one another to modify things instead of this violent, we've got it right. Now, as I reflected on that, which disturbed me very much, we suddenly had a presidential election in the United States, Donald Trump. And I found that this president was one of those people who increasingly worked against the majority of people in the United States, and yet he was elected as president. He's continually fighting. If you notice the people that he has lost from his cabinet and elsewhere in his government in the first few months, it is very difficult to understand why they would want to go to work for him in the first place. There was a continual fighting. There was a losing of people and the staff, within the staff. Now, the most current situation which has arisen through President Trump has been the separation of parents and children. Parents are allowed to come to the United States, but not their children. Many of the citizens of the United States bemoan the prevailing circumstances. And they wait for a better time to come. The question really that confronts us today and for the continuous future is, will there be a better time to come? Will there be a better time to come when children and parents can together march to different countries? And here, I think, comes the importance of cultural diplomacy. The ability of different nations to speak of what is of tremendous value to them, to let this be known to the world so that there may be a better time to come. Thank you.